Hello everyone, it's Gold Gear. Today, I want to talk about what the next Jak and Daxter game should be. Should it be a sequel, or perhaps a remake, or maybe a reboot? So let's get to it. But first, a little background information. Jak and Daxter is a series of games full of platforming, shooting, and overly sexualized women. The series was created by Naughty Dog, primarily for the PlayStation 2, but other developers, such as Ready at Dawn and High Impact Games, have also contributed to some spin-offs. The last mainline game was released in 2004, and fans of the series have been waiting for a worthy sequel for many years now. Yeah, being a Ratchet and Clank fan is probably better. Just look at all these games. Beautiful. So, what should the next game be? Let me first clarify all the terms. By sequel, I mean a direct continuation of the story from the third game. By remake, I mean that the developers recreate the original 3 games, but with better graphics and controls. Basically the same thing that was done with Crash and Spyro. And by reboot, I mean the developers will create a completely new game that includes the same characters and some plot points and content from the original trilogy. Imagine something like Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4. So, with that out of the way, let's first talk about a possible sequel. I would like to see a continuation of the trilogy, but I'm not sure if it's even needed, or if it could be good enough. See, I think the third game was a decent conclusion to the series, because Jak has finally found the living precursors in the planet's core, saved the whole world from the Darkmakers, found his father and learned about his past. What else is there to tell? I am sure Naughty Dog can make a great story, but is it necessary? Perhaps it would have been better to leave the story there. Also, you may have noticed that Jak 3 has a lot of minigames and vehicle sections, which might mean that the developers ran out of ideas and did not know what meaningful missions to add to the game. So if they want to make a decent sequel, they need to add a lot of new stuff and change the gameplay a bit. But in this case, I think it would be better to create some new IP, or a reboot, which we will get to in just a bit. Another problem is that it's a little too late to make a sequel to a 20-year-old game. I know there are a lot of fans of Jak and Daxter, but I'm afraid that many young gamers, unfortunately, have no idea who these characters are, so why would they buy the 4th game if they haven't played all the previous ones? Now let's think about the remake of the trilogy. I would be more than happy if we got the original 3 games, but with modern, beautiful graphics. Just imagine what Haven City would look like. But there is one problem with this. Unlike Ratchet and Clank or Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter isn't such a good trilogy because of the identity crisis. Don't get me wrong, I love all 3 games, but I can't see them as a whole. The first game is a colorful collectathon platformer, but the sequel is a gritty open-world third-person shooter. Like, what? By the way, I recommend watching my older video where I talk more in detail about this topic. Also, please leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, we kind of got off topic. While a remake would be nice, I think the most reasonable option is a reboot. Naughty Dog can just leave the old games alone and start from the beginning. They can reuse old characters, storylines and setting, but they will have to change everything up a bit to make it look fresh, more modern and mature. For example, the plot of this reboot could take place in Haven City. There could be metalheads and an underground group fighting against the Baron's regime, just like in the second game. But the developers could also add the wasteland that was in the third game, and maybe even some locations and characters from Jak X Combat Racing. There are many ways to create a reboot, but I think they should take the most ideas from Jak 2, because its story and setting are, in my opinion, the most interesting from the entire trilogy. By creating such a reboot, Naughty Dog will likely satisfy old fans of the series, and attract new audiences. Yes, I know fans of the original game might not be as happy with this reboot, which will ignore the first game, but I think they will still be happy with the return of their favorite characters. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you liked it and that you agree with the points I made, and if not, please write your opinion in the comments section below. I will also be very grateful if you leave a like and subscribe. I am Gold Gear, thank you for watching, and stay gold!
You wouldn't understand.